Hello everyone, my dear students. We continue our short dynamic Python lessons. Today's topic is operators, or sometimes we call them operations, because now we have to start manipulating data. Obviously, all the time we need to add numbers, compare numbers, analyze numbers. So, in order to achieve different tasks, there are many different operators in Python language. Usually, operator is just one special character, like plus, for example. Sometimes it's two special characters, like integer division or power. By the way, if your operator is two characters, please do not type a space between them. Sometimes operator is a keyword. For example, there are logical operators and or. The operators belong to three groups, three large groups. So if we try to classify all the operators, there are three major groups or categories. It's arithmetic or math operators, it's comparison operators, and it is logical operators. From the syntax point of view, operators could be binary, like plus. For example, plus is applied to two variables or two literals. By the way, we call variables or literals the operator is applied to operands. So you see here it's the first operand, this is the second operand, that's the actual operator. So binary operator applied to variables on the left and on the right. Unary operator is kind of rare, but it still exists, and it's applied to the number or to the variable on the right. So keep in mind, there are three big groups of operators: mathematic, comparison, or sometimes we call comparison operators relational operators, and logical. From syntax point of view, they can be binary or unary. So I think it's time to take a look at the demo. What you see here is just two numbers and two assignments, number 1 7, number 2 2, and I try to apply different operators on those two numbers, 7 and 2, and I print at the beginning of the program just those two numbers, number 1 and number 2. By the way, let's turn on line numbers. So in line 5 I show those two numbers, and then I try sum, difference, product, quotient, integer quotient, remainder, power, minus. So I try different arithmetic operators on those two numbers, and I print the results. By the way, we are going to discuss print library function later on. However, you can see print can print not only text, literal, string, but it can print variables and as many as you need. So in a print call, you can Using comma, provide a list of the items you want to print. For example, in line number 5, we print 4 items: literal, string literal, variable, again string literal, and again variable. By the way, the type of those variables is integer. So arithmetic operators, they work on integer variables or float variables and literals, and they produce result which is integer or float. So math or arithmetic operators applied to numbers, and they produce numbers. So let's let's try this demo program, and let's see what happens. You see number 7 and number 1, sorry, is 7, number 2 is 2, the sum is 9, the difference is 5, the product is 14, the quotient is 3.5, integer quotient is 3 because it's not the same. So please pay attention. When you divide, there are 2 different ways to divide. If you use 1 / it's just a normal division. But if it's 2 / then it's integer division. Integer division doesn't produce any fractions. It produces integer numbers. For example, 7 divided by 3 is 2. 7 divided by 2 is 3. You see the difference between, let's say, normal division, 1 / and integer division, 2 /. Remainder of integer division is 1. If I divide 7 and 2 as integer numbers, the quotient is 3, but I have remainder 1. Finally, power operator. If I apply power 2 to 7, I got 49. And unary operator minus. If I apply minus operator to 7, the result is -7. And of course, if I apply minus operator to -7, I am going to get 7. Let's take a look. I prepared the table where I put all the arithmetic operations or operators. You see all of them. There are 2, by the way, I didn't show you in my demo. They're quite interesting, and they called increment and decrement. So how they work? Let's say I have a variable, it's 5, the value is 5, and I want to increment it by 10. One solution, the most, let's say, classic solution is this. Let me increase my font so you can see better. So what I can do this in order to achieve my goal. On the left side of the assignment, my var. On the right, my var plus 10. So this way I increment my var by 10. And if it was 5 before, it becomes 15 after. However, in Python, there are 2, let's say, shortcut operators, plus equal, minus equal, so you can save a little bit on typing. You see, this line does the same as this line, but it's shorter. Plus equal increment and minus equal decrement. Also, usually math operators do not change appearance. However, this increment and decrement operators, they do. They change the left apparent after, so they kind of special, just keep in mind. So in order to keep our lessons short, we are going to now finish the lesson, and tomorrow I'm going to cover two other groups of operators. It is relational or comparison operators, and finally logical operators. So thank you very much for watching. All the best. I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.